Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.
I'm definitely honored to be here and share some words to you about Harold and his connection to the Navy Chief Petty Officer community. I look around, and you saw it when you came across that bridge. You saw those white shirts. You saw those Navy Chief Petty Officers. You see them all here today. These chiefs are not voluntold to come here. They're here to pay their respects to a fellow chief. It's what we do. These chiefs saw in Harold what they, as Chief Petty Officers, always aspire to be: honorable, courageous, and committed. And of course, knowing which buttons to push to get things done, much like Harold. Besides steadfast devotion to Doris, Harold was always a Chief Petty Officer. His upbringing in Oklahoma, his early years in the Navy, and his post-retirement years of service to Chief Petty Officers has set a standard for me and to these Chief Petty Officers that you see here today. You see, it's the fellowship and the special trust and confidence in each other that sets apart the Chief Petty Officer community from all other services. Harold's involvement with the chiefs is why they are here, and Harold can rest peacefully because the tradition of taking care of sailors will be perpetuated by these chiefs to their young sailors, and because of that, Harold lives on. Harold is a big influence in my life. I'm married to the most wonderful woman on this planet because of Harold, my lovely wife, Jill. Now here are a few of Harold's gets, and you'll get it when you hear it. Harold would always say, get involved. Either he'd listen to you long enough to talk yourself into doing something, or he'd outright say, I need you to get involved. And as you've heard from many of the other speakers, he had his way of influencing. He would also say, get acquainted. Harold was a master of getting the right people to meet the other right people, so the get involved part would work much more smoothly. How many of us here today know one another because of Harold's get acquainted? And for that matter, how many of you here got involved because of that persistent old chief? For me personally, I've always been someone who was willing to get involved because of Harold. I was pushed, inspired, directed, convinced, cajoled, or otherwise presented his convincing argument to reach plateaus I had never considered or even thought possible. And throughout the process, Harold knew exactly when to stop talking and let the idea ferment. He could read me like a book, and I think he could read most of you. I did, however, get him back one day in early 2006. Harold was made an honorary member of our Chief Petty Officers Mess, and while I was on active duty at the Pacific Fleet headquarters, about once a week he would give me a call to let me know he was in the area to come down and shoot the breeze. The outer vestibule of my office is shared with Pacific Fleet's Naval Reserve program that was run by a full Navy commander who was a coffee aficionado. And on this particular day, the commander was dressed in his service dress white uniform with all the regale for a ceremony that was going to be held later on that day. Prior to Harold's arrival, the commander had informed me that he had recently obtained a very interesting coffee and if I would like to share a cup with him. I thanked him and agreed to take some coffee. The commander went off to prepare the coffee. Enter Harold. He comes into my office, takes a chair at the corner of my desk, and we commence our normal chit-chat. Enter the commander. In full regale, bringing 2 cups of coffee, and without missing a beat, placed a cup in front of Harold and made a bit of a spectacle about placing my cup on my desk and just configuring the cup just so. The commander exited while Harold's eyes took in this whole spectacle. He sat back in his chair with his coffee and took a sip, placed the cup back on the desk and said, Mo, the Navy sure has changed since I was in it. But I like what you've done with the place. Harold is my friend. and we've shared many happy times together. I'm still sad. I still miss him. But I smile when I know that he and Doris is with him and giving him a hard time in the afterlife. God bless these Chief Petty Officers of our United States Navy. God bless all of you, Admiral of the Texas Navy, Honorable Command Master Chief, Chief Petty Officer retired, and many things to many people. God bless Harold Estes.